Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.
board went into closed session to discuss legal matters and contract negotiations. No actions were taken. And written correspondence.
You have written correspondence. So this is from the Santa Clara County Office of Education. The approval of the Loma Prieta Joint Union School District 25-26 Local Control Accountability Plan and 25-26 adopted budget. I will not mention all of the ed codes that they list, but the county superintendent of schools is required to approve, conditionally approve, or disapprove the LPJUSD 25-26 budget in conjunction with the LCAP. As required, the LCAP must be reviewed and approved prior to the approval of the district's adopted budget. If staff determines that the following criteria have been met, that the LCAP adheres to the template adopted by the State Board of Education, that the budget includes sufficient expenditures to implement the specific actions and strategies included in the LCAP, that the LCAP adheres to expenditure requirements for funds apportioned based on the number of concentration of unduplicated pupils. The LCAP includes that the LCAP includes the required calculation to determine whether there is a carryover requirement. And if applicable, includes a description of the planned uses of the specified funds and a description of how the planned uses of those funds satisfy the requirements for specific actions to be considered as contributing toward meeting the increased or improved services requirement. The Office of Education has reviewed and determined that the district is in compliance with the above criteria, and therefore they approve the district's 25-26 LCAP. The district's approved LCAP and budget overview for parents has been posted on the Santa Clara County Office of Education website. The review determined whether the adopted budget included the expenditures necessary to implement LCAP or annual updates to the LCAP, and examined our budget to determine whether it complied with standards and criteria, and identified any technical corrections needed to bring the budget into compliance with those standards and criteria. And they looked at the budget to determine whether it will allow the district to meet its financial obligations during the current fiscal year and is consistent with a financial plan that will enable the district to satisfy its multi-year financial commitments. Based on our review, I have determined the district is in compliance with the above criteria, and therefore the district's 25-26 adopted budget is also approved. They would like to thank the leadership team, in particular Sandy, for all of their work. And this is signed by Dr. David M. Toston, County Superintendent of Schools. Fantastic. Thank you.
And public comment regarding items that are not on the agenda. We do have one pink comment card from Allison Appleby regarding academic accolades. If you'd like, you can stand at the podium and make sure you hit the microphone so it goes green. Hello, board members. As Charlotte said, I'm Allison Appleby. I have two kids at CT, 6th grade and 8th grade. I also am a middle school teacher who teaches 6th grade and 8th grade. So that's my life at the moment. I came directly here from the final track meet, the cross-country meet, which was well attended and great. And I just wanted to make a point that I have watched my daughter in her hour a day with the cross-country team and her meets and the pictures, and it's going to be in a yearbook, and it's excellent, and all kinds of wonderful things. And I have another child at home who's doing at least 2 hours a day, and sometimes on the weekends as well, with his academics. And I would love to see the recognition for academics be at least what it is for athletics and theater and clubs and everything else. I'm not looking for, huge things at all. In fact, I brought a little sample. It's the only thing that the middle school that I work at does a little bit better than CT English. The only thing, because there's so many other things. But they just do an honors night in the fall that recognizes the 7th and 8th graders from that were 6th and 7ths for 3.0s, 3.5s, and 4.0s. They bring a Costco sheet cake. It's one evening. They get their certificates, and then that's it. And then in the spring, there's a bigger event, kind of like what happens with our graduation here as well. But just want to put my 2 cents in that I think the academics need to have shining spotlights on them as much as everyone else does. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you're interested, I'll leave this with, can I push the button turned off?
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, Allison.
And recognition, item 4.1, the week of the school administrator.
Yeah. So I know, right?
I was like, so in recognition of their service, we gave her
We
the.
gave him a night off. Yeah, I mean, it's the week of the school administrator and yeah, we kind of laugh about it and things like that, but most of this reflects in the principal's position at most of the schools in the state of California, and nationally. So it's really nice. Amy is tremendous. I know she is not here. She is off for tonight. She had to support her husband on something, which is awesome. But she does so much work, I think, that everyone either does or doesn't see. She's just an amazing person to work with. I'm so glad that she was local from here and came into that position and really brought in some great connections to the staff already and the community already. But there's just so much work I don't think that people know that she does in the background of everything. And I'm amazed by her. I just think it's just wonderful to see that talent kind of here at the school. So we will, find ways to do fun things to recognize her, like flowers tomorrow or tonight off. But yeah, no, I can't give enough praise about Amy and just having a partner like that. It's totally, yeah, it's just amazing. So, but that's where it stands on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ditto.
I'd like to say something about Principal Ramsey. The last few years, I've got to know her and her warmth and how she cares about the students and the programs. It's such a reflection on this district. I'm so proud that she is our principal. And you're right, Dr. Greer, that you have her on the, on our site. And I'm every year want to get to know her more. And she is just amazing, and how fortunate our students and our teachers, our community, to have her here. Thank you.
Amy, hopefully to hear all
That would
those.
be 100%.
Okay. And board reports.
You guys. Nora?
Nora?
Oh, I went to the gala, it's fabulous, everybody,
There we go.
I was here this weekend, fabulous gala. Happy life.
All right.
Denise.
Thank you so much, President Shar. I missed last month, but I want to tell you, I did attend the Professional Development Day, and that was amazing. The kinder meet, the first day of school coffee, welcoming the new parents, the sports night special ed meeting. And I do this because I enjoy meeting the new students and the parents to our district and hi, how are you? Who are you? And it really grounds me of why I do, or why all of us are here as trustees. The California Association of School Administrators, Region 8 retirees, they sponsored a luncheon, and County Superintendent Dr. Tostin was the guest. And I'll just tell you, his first concept, of all his slides, it's about the kids, right? And it is about the kids. And that's why we're here. And that's what we do as employees or retiree employees, because it's about the kids. I'm very passionate about that. Gala. Thank you, LPF. It was tremendous. Of course, I am the representative for the Santa Clara County School Boards Association. All of us are invited to attend the noon and evening meetings. The topics vary: federal impacts on the county services and budget, state and federal budget, unhoused students. Can you imagine Santa Clara County? We have unhoused students. And then also there's always a networking luncheon. My favorite time this month was the cross country invitational. Wow. I've never seen so many kids on our premises, and it was amazing. I was like, okay, it was great. And of course, the Loma family event, which I enjoy. It was a busy night. I think what was it, last week or the week, maybe the week before, the Summit on Summit meeting, and then running over to view the Fentanyl High movie at Loma. And I've seen it about 3 times, and every time I watch that movie, I see something else. And that is amazing to review. And I also would like to say yesterday, the Los Gatos Lions provided vision and hearing testing for our pardon me, the kinders, the 2nd and 5th graders and 8th graders. It's mandated by state of California to do this. And also there were pullout students. And so it's great, to be one-on-one. In fact, I tested Emily, Aaron's daughter. It was so it was amazing. Thank you so much.
She doesn't need her notes like her mother.
She doesn't. She passed 100%.
Ron?
Yes, I enjoyed the gala as well. I don't think I had a chance to speak to everybody that was there, but I spoke to a few. It's always a good event for the school. We have a great community, very generous. And so it's a pleasure to attend. Nothing else.
A big thank you to LPCF for hosting the Summit on Summit up at Wright Station, gave us a chance to talk to some of our representatives on both sides of the hill, make connections on that, and hopefully, they can help us with projects that we have ongoing. LPCF is also, their Theater in the Mountains is in the midst of Shake, Ripple and Roll, the 3rd through 5th grade play. So that's up and going. And
Tickets on sale.
what was that?
Tickets
On sale next week. Okay. Tickets go on sale next week, and Tim's making some improvements to their infrastructure and how they're gonna do the theater for this year. So that's all exciting. Gala was great fun. It was nice to just see everybody outside of work environment. And so it was, and we have a very generous community. It was lovely to see. I'm the liaison for LPEF, so I was at their meeting last night, and boy, did they look tired. They are not here tonight, but I get a text that they will be here next month with hopefully some numbers from that event. And that's all for me.
Perfect. And I'm just going to highlight a couple things. We've been working really hard on selecting, purchasing, and processing new books from our 2 grants that we were awarded last.
Thank you.
month.
Our office looks like an Amazon warehouse.
It looks like an Amazon warehouse, but the nice thing is the bulk of our nonfiction for CT was between 40 and 65 years old. When we looked at the report.
year.
So it's like,
Good year.
I read this book in high school. It's the same exact book. Or my son read this book in kindergarten and it's the same book and he's 27. So I was like, okay, it's time to retire some of these things. So we still have a long way to go to get the collection up to date. However, it is making leaps and bounds, and there's lots of beautiful, beautiful nonfiction in the CT library that's brand new. Go in and look at them. They are amazing. And they're working very hard. Pam's working very hard to cover them all as quickly as she can and get them in the kids' hands. And cross-country meet was amazing. I think this was the most efficient one I've ever witnessed. Having seen like 20 years of them, it was pretty impressive. And I helped sell snacks, so that was fun also. And I'll signed up to do that again next year. So hopefully we can make some more money. And yes, the gala was amazing. And some of my favorite moments at the gala had to do with being at 2 tables of we're going to call them OGs, people who were at the original gala and were still coming to the gala. There were 2 tables of us, and all their comments on helping things get higher when they got stalled out. And also all the energy about CT, the top hat for CT, and hopefully getting some improvements to the CTEL facilities for playground for CT kids, because they still need active things out there to do. So that was great.
Very cool. From my angle, so I'm going to do like my report, Amy's report, and Paul's report. So for the staff who voted, no, this is not as long as I normally talk. This is because Amy gave me 3 text messages worth. All right, just say. Yes, the cross country, by the way, had, we think clearly close to 900 runners.
Nine hundred
which
and
is-
17 runners, I heard.
Which was one of the reasons that I spent 2 hours just trying to park cars. And eventually towards the end, just told them, drop your runner off and good luck finding parking. Because we were trying to be very methodical and eventually I just said, just make sure your wheels were not touching Summit Road and good luck. Because we packed every place we could. So amazing that there were that many runners and still finished in under 2 hours. We did some changes and then, they did anyway, the people put it together. So great. That was just fun. It's so much fun to see that much energy on campus. It's like you're at some kind of CIF match or something. I don't know. I will say, just so that it's on there, our quarterly report for Williams, this is the quarter when we usually have to announce. So from July 1 to September 30th of 2025, we had no complaints on textbook or instructional material, lack thereof. We had no teacher vacancy or misassignments, and we had no facility conditions reported either from members of the community or public. So I have that to put in there. Also on that same level, we did have a visit at the junior high at CT. We, like I talked about, have the Williams visits now for 3 years. And they came and did the curriculum, spent 2 hours, 3 hours here in every classroom, trying to having the kids either show them where they have a textbook or where they're online. We passed that. And then last week we had a surprise visit from the facilities person who got out of the car, kind of looked around and said, this is an amazing school, and got in his car and drove. So yeah, it took like 15 minutes. Which was great. He popped his head and he's like, I don't see any stained tiles, I don't see any of this or that. And I was like, okay. And so credit to Paul. I mean, that's 100% on a facility visit, but we kind of know that about Paul, and we know that about his team, April and Martine and Tony, who does the grounds. Like, they just make the place look amazing every time. So the PD event we had on Monday, that was our first time we did it after the gala, by the way. And if anyone wants the official reasons, because we chose to kind of find a time closer in October, but Halloween wasn't an issue anymore. Usually we always have our PD right after Halloween so that we don't have the souped up kids when they're here on November 1st. So we tend to take that day, but we now have Halloween falling on a Friday and on a Saturday for the next year. So we've moved that date. But the PD aimed on anti-harassment, anti-bullying, which we're really making a focus from some of our parent groups who are pushing it forward and some of the LCAP conversations we had. So we're pushing out and really pushing on the bullying and harassment and using second step curriculum, their bullying prevention unit that we already had, and just kind of finding ways that we can efficiently push it throughout. We'll have a couple of assemblies school-wide for the district as well with a focus on that. So hopefully what we talk about usually gets measured, and what we measure usually goes in a direction we'd want it to see. So we'd love to see that we have a great place for all kids and very few bullying incidents. Gala was good. That was fun. I always apologize to whoever's at my table because I'm usually too distracted to, focusing on getting ready for the auction part that I never talked to anyone at my table. So sorry, Nora. And I think Brian was there, Amy's husband. I have no idea. I think he was there. Anyway, it was super time. Amy's announcement, Halloween parade is October 31st. So it is on that Friday, 8:45 and 11 o'clock for CT. It's a minimum day on that day too, so it's a reduced day. Season 2 wrestling is underway right now. We had our first couple of practices so far. Volleyball boys is getting ready. Girls soccer is getting ready, and season 1 is in the books. Super excited about that. Leo's Club, by the way, is doing some amazing work. They have a new thing started. We're trying to do a thing that's kind of like called Tech with Teens. And it's kind of the idea of getting our senior community to come here, work with our kids and show them like, hey, did you know you can change the photo on your front cover of your cell phone, or you can change this is how you change your password, or this is what, and just some simple things and some complex things. But it's just a way of also getting that generational gap bridged a little bit.
Really, if they just want to come and tea and cookies, it's okay.
Yeah. What I also want to say is the Leos they come down the hill on Fridays and they help in the snack shack during the football games, for the JV and varsity games. So they're really collaborating and with the older students, and of course the older ones. But, I think that's really great. It's so much pride for me, for us, that a lot, they are from CT.
We get a lot of good kudos out of that. The Tech Elective at CT, if you haven't seen it yet, it's Project Lead the Way. I'd love to have you come in and take a look. It's Marissa as the teacher. She's fantastic. Ricker, just got these kids humming on some coding things, simple machines. Really fun. We were in there the other day watching them demonstrate some 16-bit little boards that they had made a full story happen out on the board. So really cool. Project Lead the Way is a great program. It's been around for a while, and I really do like having that here as an elective for our kids, especially in the Silicon Valley, the heart of all the coding and everything else. It's kind of nice to have some other ways to connect there. 5th grade science camp, getting ready. October 22nd, 3rd, and 4th promises to be 120 degrees, and no. No, it'll be a great time. The kids are looking forward to it. It's the first time I think we've had in a while where one time we take all 5th graders because of the size of the 5th grade. So one time rather than the bus out, back, half the class, and what have you. So excited about it. I know the kids are already kind of buzzing. And then other field trips are in full swing. We've been going some places. Skip has been busy. If he's not driving our kids to field trips, he's driving other school districts' kids to field trips, which is great. And SARB letters went out. We already sent our first batch of letters. If a kid was absent 4 or more days, we gave them a letter. So we had 21 letters go out already. So hopefully that will help to reduce our overall attendance issues by the end of the whole school year. But and then from Paul's angle, you'll see some things happening over at the bus barn. Just so you know, the well water project will start. They have their pre-construction meeting, so there'll be a crane coming. And if you're used to ever watching any of the Texas movies about drilling for oil, be drilling for water. So they'll start putting the pipes down one at a time, kind of get it down to a point 20 feet down, connect it, wait, connect the new pipe. Crane drives it down with the other one and connects another pipe. We have to go down about 300 feet to get the pump down there and then connect it up, and we'll have a full working well as doing the other one. And that project, after 9.5 years, will finally be complete and fully paid for by the state. So kudos to well, that Paul can remember. It might have, I don't know when it started, but it's been a while.
It was before I joined the board. And I've been on the board over 10 years, so.
There you go. So it's probably even further back than that. What's that? I know that we'll watch the machines as it goes. You could probably be on the outside edge. I would talk to Paul. I think he'd be open to it. Like, that'd be kind of cool. I just want to see how that happens. Like, what do you do? So that's kind of cool. The playground, November 15th, will be the community aspect to the program. We'll have shovels and pickaxes and bobcats, and we'll pull out the existing ground and playground structure, and then we'll start commencing putting in the new structure and the new soft surfacing. So that hopefully will be done by the time we get back in January 1st, if not sooner, bearing weather. The November 15th. 15th. It's a weekend project, I think. Yeah. The Redwood Amphitheater, you'll see it go away and then come back. It will be demoed on the 17th of October, and it will be beginning to be rebuilt on November 1st. So it'll be demoed right after movie night is over there. And then the next day, so right after the CT dance, it'll just disappear, and then it'll be rebuilt. So we're excited about that. CalShape, they completed the assessments, which freed up about 25% of the funding thing that's on the HVAC, so the CO2 monitors, filters, and repairs. So that actually gets us some additional funding back for stuff moving forward. So we're excited about that. But Paul has a bunch of great stuff happening, and then we decided to throw one more thing on top of it. Because we did the top hat, we raised, some money in the top hat, which was focused on CT. We will actually try to find something for the kids to do rather than just run around a playground playing tag. So we're going to try to find something for them to do over on the CT side, because there's very limited options. So we're hoping that money will be put to really good use, and we can do some things that provide either spaces for sitting, spaces for doing stuff, things that be brought back, spike ball, little maybe mobile pickleball court or a
We need
volleyball
crochet
court
circle
there.
Because we have
A
about
crochet
20
circle.
kids in the library.
Yeah, I
crocheting.
didn't realize that was that popular. I really didn't. That's amazing. But I am one who needed a needle pointed when I was younger, so it was kind of fun. Anyway, so yeah, that's everything that's going on. It's a ton of stuff. There's just so team is doing great. So and teachers are doing even better.
Okay. All right. CT. Oh, don't have much, but we are in the middle of it with Christy White. They should be wrapping that up shortly, and I'm hoping that they're going to present either in November or December. So that's about it. And first interim closed September 30th, so I'm starting to dig into that and get that done, and that will be presented in December as well. That's all I've got. You. All right, CTA.
All right, I figure we should introduce ourselves because there might be people out in the world who don't know us. I'm Kendra Zanato. I teach fifth grade at Loma, and this is my 7th year teaching. I'm joined tonight by Helen O'D, who's our art teacher and in her 10th year.
10th year.
10th year. First I want to say it was a privilege to be a member of the negotiations team along with Tony Arias and Karen Zook. We had a long but very positive contract negotiations discussions with the district. We're really grateful for the district's partnership and openness and listening to everything we had to say and really thinking deeply and considering ways to address our concerns. So we feel very positive about the discussions that we've had and that the outcomes moving forward. We're continuing to seek board support on committing to a regular salary adjustment based on the cost of living. That's something really important to our membership, and that's something that we're going to continue to hopefully discuss with board members. One of the truly great things that came out of our union discussions around negotiations this year was a realization of our amazing Loma family tree. And it's obvious here in your discussion about the gala and your commitment to Loma and your history with Loma, but a few fun things that we kind of discovered that I thought would be fun to share with you. Both Mr. Arias and Ms. Zook have completed the cycle, I guess that's what it's called. So they have now officially taught children of students that they taught. I think that happened for Tony this year, and I think it happened for Karen last year. Another not official cycle, I don't know what it's called, but Mrs. Zook, one of Mrs. Zook's students is now a teacher at Loma, Mrs. Ponke. And we had the privilege of actually seeing and enjoying the picture of Miss Ponke standing in Miss Zook's 1st grade class. In addition to those like highlights, we want to celebrate our staff's family tree and our commitment to the school and community and how important it is to us. Many of us have children who have gone through here or are currently going through here. Many of us have taught colleagues' children. We just can't say and express enough how much we value that connection and how it makes the work we do more meaningful and makes our commitment even stronger. So we're going to try and continue to like find those amazing family trees and maybe even like create something official with that information, because this doesn't happen anywhere else. It's so unique, and it is like just layers and layers of goodness and meaning that come to the kids and our families every day. So we want to thank you for being part of that, and we're excited about this year.
Well, we have Helen up there. Can I just mention that you'll see a project? Do you want to talk about it real quick? I'm off the hook on this one. I told her she could have a year off, but she had the kids and she just came up with another idea she wanted to do, and it's amazing. So I'm leaving it there.
We needed a break from the mosaic work, but so the 8th graders have just today actually went out on paint, and we're finishing up a mural that got started during the year of COVID. And we shut down because of the rains, and then the plan was to pick it up in March. But nobody was here in March. And it never got going again. So it kind of went by the wayside. So it looked okay, it was an okay state. But now my present eighth graders have been working really well together. I'm very pleased at how they collaboration. They've come up with a design they've all agreed on. Now we're talking about getting 25 eighth graders to all agree on one picture. They did it really well. So we have a design, and today, for the first day, they were actually out with paint. If you look at the mural right now, you can see a little purple mountain on the bottom. So it,
We're on the side of the gym.
on the back of the gym, yeah. So we'll see how that works out. But I have to say, to give the eighth graders a credit, I'm touching wood, I say this, there was not a single drop of paint on anyone's shoes or on the ground. The end of today's work. So fingers crossed, it continues to go well.
Nice, thank you. Right. Anyone here from CSEA or LPF for building blocks or the Home and School Club, but we do have something from the Loma Home and School Club. The HSC has worked with all the wonderful volunteer room parents to start rolling out the monthly staff potlucks. The room parents also came up with some amazing baskets and treasures to donate to LPF for the gala this year. And on September 17th, HSC had its fundraising event at Willow Street Pizza. It was a big turnout. Lots of people also picked up takeout, and they raised over $550 for the HSC, which is a really good amount to just go out and have a dinner out. And they're looking forward to the annual Halloween movie night on October 17th at 7:30. They'll be showing the Disney movie Coco. There will also be a bake sale and refreshments at the pavilion. And the LGHS Leadership Club will be setting up games and with prizes under the redwoods near the baseball field from 6 to 7:30 to keep kids busy before the movie starts. And it's their first annual Ghosts in the Grove, and they're very excited to work and partner with these enthusiastic and bright kids on this event.
And one of the fabulous leaders of that group of Loma leadership kids back there, Kendra.
And anything from CT Home and School Club? Okay. All right, discussion and action item 6.1.
Yeah, so this is the one you had asked, I think back in August, for Paul to possibly come back with a list of deferred maintenance and capital improvements as we're winding down the bond, and then trying to look at some items that could potentially be on. I'm going to read it from my screen because it's a little easier for me to see. But so what we put together were we tried to put and I guess shrink out just a little bit from it because the date on the edge is probably also important. Yeah, just that little bit.
Yeah, I can't see it.
Now we can. So one of them was to kind of look at like what would be something potential in a fiscal year. A lot of these are things that we, as we were kind of checking around at things we could do. So Paul kind of put this together. These are all the things. If you kind of look at the fact that it goes up to years 25, 26, 26, 27, 27, 28, 28, 29, and 29, 30. So just kind of spacing those projects out over the next 5 years. It would be about $831,000 estimate to do all of those projects that are listed on here. So the concept was about kind of having that set aside for things, because after the bond is done, and some of these things can't be done in a bond, but after the bond is done, there are still things we need to do to keep the school kind of, weather tight or just, functional. So one of the things on there, like, for example, to look at would be the roof penetrations and the Loma gutter replacement. We have an actual, if there's a name in the vendor, that means he actually has a quote ready to go for that. And if there's a funding source, it's that possible we could kind of figure out a way to put those things into play. But so 25, 26 was the roof penetrations, the Loma Prieta new backflow preventer, the gym new backflow preventer, the CT stucco repair. If you've been on CT, there's a lot of the stucco that's starting to fall off around the edges. And just kind of trying to have that as a repair. The bus barn siding, it never got put back up. It was taken down and it's never been put back in any kind of fashion, so that it's weathering a little faster than others. So we had projects like that, and then the gym upper siding repair was another one that would be something to look at for 25, 26. So there's a bunch of things in here. I can tell you the roof penetrations, if you tried to guess how many roof penetrations there are on the Loma roof, it's close to 400. Because there's all the piping that you would normally do with your venting for plumbing, but then there's also the skylights and there's also some other things that are in the thing. And so every one of those is considered a hole in the roof. And so just needing to go up there and seal that off better all the time and take the caulking off and put it back on.
Just explain the order that those are in, like what.
They're really not, they're, in this particular one, I think they were put in, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure there was an order. He had just generated a list and then we were trying to put, what year do you think we could hold out till we did something like this? So the roof gutters, if you looked at the Loma gutters during a rainstorm, there are a bunch of them that just have holes in them that just run straight down out of the thing. So they've rusted through. So some of those were like, hey, that would be important. So I think when he was doing it, he was brainstorming down like, hey, these would be things that we could use. Yeah.
So I do see a bond, and then remind us, the maintenance deferred projects. The funding comes from, general,
This is general fund.
it is general fund, because aren't we supposed to put so much money into deferred maintenance a year?
We haven't been always. We had been in the last time to put. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a routine.
that's different than this.
So I was confused, so it's the routine, names, okay, yes. Yeah, no. I just.
So this is above those. This is stuff that, you know, if we could wait, we would wait. If we can't, we can't. But just for some things, the backflow preventers, those have always been on the list of things that we're always just kind of know we need to fix, need to address. We've done our best to kind of keep them together, but just they're there. Backflow preventers mean it just keeps bad water from returning back into the good water system. They're like when you, if you ever flush the toilet at CT and then walk outside, you'll see outside the office, it kind of drips or whatever, you know, it kind of back, that's the backflow. And so it's how long you can keep that going. And it's meant to drip, by the way, that's the way it's supposed to off pressure, but at some point that becomes a little bit of a problem. So anyway, Paul just put this together and just to give us a perspective of how much money we would be. And we can look at funding sources, see if some things may fall into the bond and we would have to go to the bond committee and just say, if we shake out projects after we're done with phase 3 and we'd still have some money left, could some of these projects fall into that? Could we take care of them out of this? Do they fit the language of the bond? We have to be careful that it does well with stuff like that. So,
Fairly like urgency say, right? Because I mean, like some things are listed as 25, 26, but they're not necessarily.
there's urgency and there's also just the fact that it's something we could go at pretty quickly. And we can also have you guys kind of have a chance. I know Paul's not here today. There was a situation that arose, so he couldn't be here tonight, but just to give you a raw list of things and then probably bring it back to you, like, how do you want to prioritize? What are you guys seeing? What do you want to have from him so that things can get flushed out further? The tractor that's in here that comes out of the bond is the one to help with the south parking lot when we get it, you know, doing that DG gravel thing. We need one that's a little stronger and better to kind of grate so we can keep that constantly locked in. So that was a creative solution and we could push that into the bond as something we need for that project, and be able to do it out that way. So anyway, those are just different ideas.
That I'm blind and I
Yeah.
can't, literally cannot see everything on there.
Yeah.
Is the clearing that we need to do for fire prevention?
No,
And that's and we have at least 8 to 12 dead trees in that front area, in that you know, surrounding south that are ready to fall.
right.
So that's also not in there, and those are not.
The reason it's not is we've had conversation with a gentleman
We
who.
really want to try and find money for it elsewhere, but it should still hit our list.
Yeah, sure. I'll make sure I add that
There's
one on.
funding sources we can try and find before we have to.
I do have I think a person who would be okay helping us with that.
Oh.
Timing wise is what is what the company's looking for, but I'll add it on the slides.
So I think Denise had a pretty good question there, but I'd like to follow up with the deferred maintenance reserve. If this is not in a reserve someplace or a plan, where do we put it? How do we fund it? There's either 831,000 or 1,500,000. I'm not sure which number is right, but either way, they're pretty good sized numbers. And they're some of that is gonna become a reality. We're gonna need to do it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like we used to set aside like $100,000
we
a
did.
year. And I think when we, both with the inclusion of the bond and just with sort of the financial realities of COVID, I think we just sort of stopped for a while. I
Yeah.
think things were just in a bad place with COVID and we could not put that money away each year. And then with the bond, some things were just sort of being taken care of within the bond, but as we know that with that kind of dwindling down and us wanting to keep up the nice things we did with it.
Yeah.
I guess I would toss the ball to your court, Sandy, as to what you think we could reasonably set aside each year.
Knowing we're not gonna get probably everything we need, but.
No, and hopefully some of it will get through a bond or a grant or the Cal Shape or something, but
You know, it's hard to say until we know how it's gonna end. To say what we're like last year worked out. That we were able to put money into deferred maintenance, but I don't have to, that's able to.
Sandy, do you mind? I mean, I know I asked the question over there, but that restricted maintenance, what can we use out of that?
That's used every year.
Okay.
So it's for maintenance salaries, it's for all the repairs that we do throughout the year, those types of things. That's the district contributes into that, and that's about $300,000.
Because it's a percentage, right? Isn't it a percentage of,
Yeah. Stay within what we've been doing just slightly every year, which is what we've been doing. Don't know if it's an exact percentage.
yeah,
But we always fall within right around $275,000 to $300,000.
so that's just normal wear and tear on the school. That is not what it's on this list. Okay,
and
thank you.
salaries.
And salaries, no, I,
I was gonna say.
yeah, and salaries, yeah. It's the maintenance salaries plus the wear and tear on school.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have all.
Yep. Get the supplies and things like that. Okay,
But some of this is normal, useful life problem, you know. You have to maintain the HVAC system. And occasionally those costs are a little lumpy. We had Fund 400, which was really for capital improvement, but this would be, what I'm looking at here is basically capital maintenance. Not in the sense that our current maintenance budget is, but sustaining in the sense, you need to repaint and you need to fix the siding and that sort of stuff. 140140.
Call it 140, the Saks. Saks report.
Should we be setting money up to Aaron's point here? How much? And I think we should start.
We did last year. So we put 50,000 last year. In deferred maintenance and 50,000 capital improvements. Which to me, those two kind of go hand in hand to me.
Well, at 50,000 a year,
It's not gonna get us.
no, we're gonna have a few things falling apart before we get to them.
so it's a total of $50,000 a year. It's not
That's what we did.
That's what we did last year.
1 year.
1 year, so that was deferred and capital. Okay,
We didn't do anything prior to, but.
okay.
And it's hard, I mean, I guess we have to look at all of our priorities, parcel tax that we're trying to set aside for. Set aside for that, we're gonna budget ed, we've got teacher salary increases, I mean, it's everything, right?
Yeah.
No,
got it.
prioritize.
But parcel tax, isn't parcel taxes it's for programs and people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but
it can't go to,
Well, it's 1%.
oh, that's right. I mean, it
Yeah,
can go
but
to
we've been trying-
maintenance,
yeah.
it can
Right.
do
Well, but
salaries.
we've been trying to, and we've been also trying to think about, can we? Because the trouble we got in with Measure H was that what it was paying for at the beginning,
Dwindling.
it didn't pay those like 3 or 4 teachers. It couldn't cover those by the end,
Yeah.
salary increases and whatnot, so it was pulling out of our general fund, so we're trying to kind of put some money aside so we can
Sure.
pay for the same stuff throughout
way
the life
through.
of the parcel tax.
So,
Play that a little smarter this time around.
Right.
But that's just another thing we're trying to set aside. and-
right, no, I understand completely. So that's something, the district, we have to look into.
So I feel like one of the last budgets we looked at had a pretty good outlook in terms of what the reserve was gonna be. I thought like, something that kind of was turning around and like kind of oh, anything over 12, I mean, it seems like, or is that a bucket that we should be looking at to cover this kind of stuff?
So I'd like to comment on that. We expect to be over 12% if we're going to set aside money to cover the 8 years of programs that we're funding with the measure. If we don't have more than 12%, then eventually we will collapse below that 12 and get in danger of even touching on the 4%. So my expectation is in our plan, the way we did it was that we would see the number of the reserves go up and then come down as we were consuming the monies that we set aside for the measure M type of programs, teachers and so forth. So we expect the reserves to go up. That's not a reason necessarily to pull them out. If we're gonna make that program last 8 years, we need the money there. And we wanted teachers and programs to be sustainable over the life of the measure. So it's nice to see when we have a little bit more.
Yeah, I thought that we saw that reserve going up
Yeah.
even with pulling out money to cover the out years for the measure. So anyway, yeah, I can go back to that.
I'll have Paul bring it back into a fashion where maybe we can sit down and have you guys kind of say, what do you want to see, and if these are 25, 26, which items do you want to see, first, second, third, we can put them in some order too.
Mhm.
But, just tapping on them, and Paul and I always look at this thing and we kind of say, can we be creative with some of the monies that he saved on playground projects? Can we be creative
Yeah.
with some of the money he's played? And have it be, some of these things could fit into those buckets.
Yeah.
Like, that's helpful too, so, yeah.
I'm not stressed about micromanaging it. I have a great deal of confidence in his ability to
Stretch the dollars further, yeah.
find grants, pull the
Yeah.
community together, like get creative.
Yeah.
I
agree.
trust his ability to decide if we need to like
Yeah.
fix stucco or do plumbing first. Like I don't, but
At the end
I
of the
want-
day, he's gonna need some money to get all of that done.
as creative as he is, and so I'm wondering if maybe if we wanted to do a mid-year, set aside maybe another 50. Cause I know we did 50 I think.
We did 50
spring,
deferred and 15 capital.
And maybe we wanna do another mid-year 50 and then look at it again at the end of the year where we're
We're
at.
making allocations.
Yeah.
Or how do
That
we
would be
go about,
helpful.
okay,
Well,
I was thinking just deferred maintenance, but folks can weigh in.
just a place to put it. It's a placeholder for now.
Yeah.
The reason we asked for this is because we didn't know what we didn't know.
Right.
But we knew there was something coming up.
We knew we would need to pay for some repairs at some point, and this is quite exceeds what we had imagined we might need to pay for
Certainly
repairs.
exceeds
Well,
mine.
And because we're doing good things with this bond and I don't wanna see it, like, I'm also not seeing, is there any maintenance we need to do to the track?
Within these year frames, because
Okay.
it still should maintain, it's like 10, 15-year life on the track before you have to look at the
Okay.
thing off of it. There's a life expectancy on it, especially because we don't have people riding their bikes, we don't have cars going on it. When those type of things save the life of a track.
Okay, yeah, I was just,
Cindy, maybe you could help me on this question. I noticed that we have $831,000 identified in year buckets. And we have about $1 million in individual items. Was there some reason why there was a couple things missing or?
Or you can see how it's total, because it looks like the ones that don't have a year are on there. So
Oh, yeah, they not available. It adds up too. So I don't know what's
Pulling
missing.
it, yeah.
He may remove some of the things that were,
like 3031 isn't in there.
Okay,
yeah.
Yeah, the outliers. Far enough.
He may have
yeah, I
also,
see what you're talking about. Yeah,
Correct.
yes.
he may remove some of the items that he felt like might be covered by the shape, Cal shape or a bond. But he put it in there just for us to see.
Right.
Um, okay.
This
I'd
is
say
actually
directionally, yeah, if we could put it in
list.
Yeah.
first interim and see what it looks like and have Paul come back to us with the
I
modified list.
Paul found this to be a useful exercise too. Like I feel like it's just good to have.
Well, it's just good to remind us, like, the kindergarten fence, the wooden fence that has been around kindergarten for years is barely holding up, right?
Yeah.
It's wobbly, right? So, I don't know, you just trying to put that on the list to think, well, before it falls down, we should probably
Have a plan for
Yeah.
replacing
Yeah.
it.
And before we lose some of our kindergartners.
wander off.
Wander off.
Hurting
Yeah.
cats.
I mean, there's some things on here like the paint. Could you go longer on a paint? Sure, we could push that out further years, but I mean, from the outside, like 30,000 feet looks great till you get up close and you might see that it's fading in spots or that it's cracked in spots or what have you. But also, just like you had said, Ron, like on your house, about every 20 years you have to repaint or restucco because the weather and up here and the damage, sun damage and rain damage and stuff. So there's just general stuff you have to do that has to come from somewhere, right? At some point, you have to save enough to make that project happen before it becomes something far worse than it could have been. So,
No, I think, yeah, I'd love to do another mid-year if we can, and then I feel like bringing this list back when we do our other allocations at the end of the fiscal year
Mhm.
makes sense.
Yeah, actually, I would agree with you.
Yep.
In fact, we should make it a regular item for us to review.
Yeah.
Sure.
I see here.
Trying to think, I think we have, for 40,000.
Mhm.
Okay, let's,
Yeah, 50.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay,
okay.
perfect. Thank you. Moving on.
I know.
Yeah, but on 6.2.
If you can get a card now. Oh.
Good.
To discuss and approve facilities rental rates.
Yeah, so you wanted that back. So Ron, I think you had asked me to bring that back. So I gave you a chart comparison. If we had done it with the same CPI index change to it, just so you could see what it would do. And I also sent it home with you so you could see that the side by side to some of the districts that we compare to. We do okay on some level, tier 1 or tier 2, 3 or 4, just so that you could see if our rates are exceeding by too much, what other places would rent something similar, and things like that. So I gave that to you so you could see. And if you want to, because this would be then lumped in future years with the bus rates that go up, Kids and Co that go up by CPI, and facility rates that would go up by CPI. 3% on the rates is not a whole lot because it's, usually less than $1 more each year. But it was nice to kind of look at some of those comparative districts like Los Gatos and what's the one? Scotts Valley, Santa Cruz City. Like, I mean, not everyone has all the same facilities. It's not apples and apples. But when you looked at like tier 2 or group 2 kind of things, we tended to be, a mix of somewhat higher, but by the time we got to the group 3, we were pretty much on par with them as well. And everyone has a call on group 4, which is one of the ones that's an outside agency for profit that needs to, wants to use our facility. Most of the times what we've seen in our rentals is community groups up here who want to use it, not necessarily those coming off the hill or up the hill to kind of use it. But Anyway, just kind of, you wanted to kind of see what it looked
Yep.
like. If it's acceptable to you, we can put it into play for anyone signs up after the date of this board meeting. If they've already signed up for an event, we'll keep the rate where it is because we've already committed to that. Going forward, we would adjust to anyone using this rate sheet for future outs.
Yeah, I actually, when I reviewed this, I thought, okay, this is good. It's not a big increase. It's not out of line. No, and using a CPI, for example, I think is a fair method for doing it.
Yeah.
CPI doesn't tell us everything, but it
No.
informs us that we're in the ballpark anyway.
Right.
So I'm liking it. And if we could do it on an annual basis,
We would bring it in
the same
every
time.
May, April, May, what it is.
Yeah.
Which is when we do all the others.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when we bring the others would be great.
That'd be
we wouldn't
perfect.
want to change any agreements that we've already made.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna go back on those agreements. So,
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
so moved.
I second.
Any further discussion? All right, Nora?
Aye.
Denise?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Aaron?
Aye.
I'm aye as well. Perfect. 6.3 budget advisory update.
Just to give you an update, we had our first meeting of the group. Generally, all the people were returning people, which is really nice because we can get to kind of move on. We have a couple that are brand new, but that's okay. We like having fresh ideas, fresh perspectives. We did change the formatting a little bit because of where we are. We're not in a budget crisis at the moment when, usually these things are created when there's a need for a lot of input on a critical budget that might include layoffs and fire, all that kind of stuff that we have to, huge reductions in what we spend and stuff like that. So we kind of scaled it back a little bit from monthly meetings to doing them kind of every 6 or 7 weeks. And 2 of the meetings are on the budget input side. So we have Sandy come, they time out really well with when interim reports are due so that the committee can kind of hear and offer some feedback or input before kind of actually bringing that here. It's actually kind of before this one or just after. So any of the, but you have, and then she has, and she can come back and forth on it. And then 2 of the other ones, we really just want to focus on the marketing aspect. And kudos to Elizabeth DiPiazza and her husband who have constantly been pushing, saying we need to do something to keep the community knowing what we're spending on. What are we doing the bond on? What are we doing the parcel tax on? Because the bond, yeah, we've got, 20 something more years to pay on that. That's very well, right? But the parcel tax is, 6 years away from coming back up again. And it's good to keep in front of the community with, just so you know, here's where it was spent. Here's what it was spent on. So there is something. So it's not a, oh gosh, here comes an ask again, and I bet they didn't use any of it last time, or I bet they were, willy-nilly on it. It's like, no, here's exactly what it is. Here's a trifold, or here's a way of putting that information out in front of the public better. So we're going to try to use 2 of those meetings to kind of design more of a marketing aspect of letting the community know, hey, this is your dollars at action right here. This is the kind of stuff we did. Because a lot of stuff isn't seen, but it would be definitely nice for them to know what it did. So when we ask again, it's like, do you need, we can support it and maybe we need to support it with more. And so that's helpful as we move forward, because we do know if anything else, we're probably going to have another parcel tax in 6 years. It's hard to sustain the costs of running a district anymore without having additional fund money coming in from parcel tax, a levy tax on people.
So are we gonna bring then Paul's list to the next meeting?
We could actually, that'd be a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will actually put that on the list for the thing.
So I think it probably makes sense too for us to consider how we get here, because we're gonna need this measure again. And frankly, some of the community members asserted that the board and the management of the school had lied to the public about the measure to begin with, the original one, Measure H. They claim that we had deceived them and that we always intended it to be a forever type thing, which was not the case at all. It was designed to expire, as this one is. But the reality is the way the funding is provided for our school district, it's gonna be a need that's ongoing.
I think with Mother Age too, I think I think the thought was after the Great Recession, that funding would come back when things recovered and it didn't.
Yeah, we thought the state was gonna live up to its commitment.
Yeah, the state was like, yeah, and it
It didn't.
didn't, those funds haven't raised in
But-
years.
Even if they had, the problem would still be there. We're a community that's not building a lot of homes, so we're not getting a larger
fee.
tax base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't have
lot of new
industry, we don't
businesses,
have
yeah.
new businesses here. And the housing turnover is fairly low. Where in
Yeah.
the time frame where the Prop 13 was passed, I think the turnover on homes was every 7 years. So there'd be a reset that would go on to the tax base. Well, that doesn't happen up here. People like me stick around forever.
That family Loma tree,
So,
Which has a lot of benefits, but yeah, this is the one downside. And I think educating on that and I mean, school finance is confusing, but anything they can do to kind of make that accessible to the
Mhm.
public, I think is great.
Yeah.
Okay. 6.4, to discuss or adopt the resolution on a credential waiver.
so it's a credential waiver for a teacher who is teaching geometry. With a doctorate, but the math classes needed they were in science and not in math. I don't know. Brilliant people, and she's already a brilliant person. So this is just to satisfy the state that she is qualified to teach a geometry class. And she walks on water in that class, so it's fine, but this is what we have to do. So we didn't realize, and Jet's been working with the state, and they're like, well, we need a credential waiver. It's like, fine, we'll get you a credential waiver.
Okay. Do I have a motion to adopt?
I will motion. She's amazing in that class.
And I'm gonna second, just because can't say enough nice things about her. Any other questions or discussion? All right, Nora,
Aye.
Denise,
Aye.
Ron,
aye.
Aaron,
Aye.
and I might as well. All right. Moving on to 6.5, our wonderful 2026 board meeting calendar.
This is just for you guys to discuss. So we just mirrored what you guys did last time. So we threw dates down. So these are your social calendar dates.
This used to be date night, but where's Julie?
Yeah. She was tired from late night when she retired from
I
school.
know, you cheated.
So
Can't wait to tell Julie that.
the only edge inside of this is because of the LCAP with there's usually 2 in one of the months. We do 2 in May. So the last one in May is the first time I present the LCAP to you. And then there's a 2-week required by the state kind of public hearing opportunity or commenting opportunity, I guess. And then I bring it back again. And then it had, so long as it's done before June 30th. Then the budget comes at the same time as the LCAP and has to be submitted to the state, and a new bill was just introduced and passed that puts severe consequences on a district that doesn't get them in by June 30th. So we're not in that boat.
So wait a minute, do I understand this correctly? The state, which can't budget on time, is giving us severe penalties?
Yes,
Yeah,
Okay,
it's ironic.
the irony is not lost on you. So that's in there. So that was the only reason that May has 2, and that's been a pattern we've had for a couple of years.
yeah.
Any issues or concerns with any of the dates?
So the only concern I had was with the retreat, which is not really a retreat, but I don't object to the content of the meeting. Could we combine it into another meeting?
Are you still gonna feed me?
Exactly.
Bring you a donut. I'll bring you 2.
And
Actually, Denise is pretty nice.
But I respect and I get it. At our last retreat, we discussed our board self-evaluation results. We discussed that. We reviewed the governance handbook, and I think even though we passed a new one, it's good to do another look through. We also discussed the 2024, 2027, our strategic plan review, and then our board focus areas would be for 26, 27. So you want to combine this.
Well,
to a regular meeting. I'm just asking. I'm just
So I
asking.
guess I'm objecting to the retreat terminology. It's a full.
What? It's just the name. Okay, wait a minute. So let's just call it
The whole
a full bore meeting. I mean, I don't, we don't have.
a regular agenda.
Oh,
I mean, we could do like a session, like we do a budget study session. It could just be like a planning session because
Listening session, don't call it a retreat. So that's the word you want to come out. A special board
like
meeting.
calling it a
It's kind of
retreat.
trivial when I put it.
We don't have a camera.
Day.
With Kevin's spa day.
You want to call it a spa day.
I mean,
Okay. But you're not objecting to that date.
for
You're
the
just-
content of the meeting.
It's just what it's
Yeah.
called.
We just put it in the regular, calendar there.
Oh, okay. So you want it to be part of the regular calendar and but keep the date.
Sure.
Okay.
But it's not,
But
it's not a.
It's not it's not a board meeting.
It's not a board
and it's
meeting.
not
An
to the
agenda?
public.
That's
It's open
public
to the public.
comment.
All our meetings are open to the
Yeah.
public. They can
Yeah.
come to the retreat. You know,
It's totally open.
yeah, we're always open. Yeah. Yeah. The only time it's not open, we're closed. So what's another word we can use here?
Well,
How about a regular meeting?
It can't be a regular.
but it can't be well, in the same way.
Study session.
Yeah, like in the same way we do a budget study session, it can just be a planning session.
How about a planning session?
All right, but just for clarification, in my own mind, is there a restriction on having a regular meeting?
I think there are
Uh,
certain.
Other school
Just our
districts have-
I
secretary.
will contact Brian and just ask if
Yeah.
there's a reason it can't be considered also a regular meeting or the business done during in a
The,
agenda of a regular meeting.
to obligate our administrative staff to all have to come to that when
The
they don't normally.
Yeah, last
Not on
year,
the agenda.
last year was food, right? But the last year when we had the retreat, we had a special type of meeting
Brownies.
before that because there was some business we
Yeah.
had to do. And our secretary, Dr. Greer, had to check that out with legal. So we did that first and then we went to the retreat.
Do you have any issue though with the dates? He can decide
I'm
whether or
okay
not
with
we
it.
label
I'm
it
good with the
differently.
dates.
I
but-
don't have any issue with the
Okay,
date. What I'm asking really is why don't we just make it a regular scheduled meeting?
I
And there
don't,
may be some restrictions, although I know other school districts sometimes have 2 meetings a month.
I think because it's sort of it's also like a preset agenda, right? Is in the same way like our study session is a
Yeah.
budget study session.
That's
We're not gonna
fine.
put other things on it.
Yeah.
This is our planning session. It gives us a chance to look at, overall goals and reset a few things, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's a problem with the agenda either. I think the topics we covered were
Yeah.
reasonable and
I think
and
that,
worthwhile.
Okay,
We do get dinner.
okay, we get to
Yeah.
eat.
And we
And
get dinner.
and we
if
get
make the
food.
board
and
meeting.
there's food.
We get
That
food.
works.
I'm going to make a motion. We come for the food.
Yeah, for
Whatever.
discussions.
I don't know, Secretary Dr. Greer is going to
So-
check with legal counsel what the term can be.
I'm also gonna note that this current document has 2025 as the dates,
Oh,
and
you're
it should say
right, yeah.
2026. Just so we're all amending
Yeah.
that on our copies.
I did check the calendar though. Those are
Yeah,
all.
Those are all Wednesdays and those
Yeah.
all on
I
2026.
My calendar.
So we could actually approve the dates.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to move that we approve these dates for our sessions for 2026.
Yes.
And we can discuss what we call that midsummer meeting with food.
With food.
Yeah.
We can call it that if you want.
The entire year.
I'm motivated.
This is just discussion because we actually bring it in the next meeting.
Can I second this? Oh, this is just discussion?
This is just-
Oh,
Oh,
beautiful.
all
right,
perfect. Then we
okay.
don't need anything else.
Yeah,
then.
no action
All right.
item here.
All right, 6.6.
Let's say it.
It's just a discussion, there's no action. So
6.6
then
is
next
our-
month. Okay,
Moving on to
Wait, wait.
6.
Yeah, because one of the things was also on the study session, the board study session. We had April 22nd and you've noticed April 15th. They're like a week apart. One of the things was to try to see if it fit with Sandy doing the budget where that falls and trying to figure it out. Sandy, can you?
Talking about maybe combining the two, short, and study down a little bit.
The budget study session combined with the meeting, how many hours are gonna be here?
Martine's gonna get the biggest
Five
stickers
slots.
in the world.
How many hours? Okay,
I'll help.
if you give us the notes underneath the slides, that,
82 questions.
that will be helpful, thank you.
Okay, previous year, so I'm thinking.
I have no objection to collapsing them.
Okay,
I can't move farther back from April 22nd or farther forward. Because I have,
so do you need to leave it on the
Vacation plans.
22nd?
stay on the 22nd, but I can't move to the following week.
Okay.
And, yeah. And I can't move it up into March.
I'm Sandy, we can combine that study session with the regular meeting?
Yeah, we actually could, because we can open to one that's the budget study session closed, go to closed session and open a regular session meeting after that, which is what I think Brian's gonna tell me I can do with our spa day and food activity.
Bags and a cot and
Yeah.
coffee.
Coffee.
We'll have coffee talk.
Meeting that we're gonna eliminate the study session, because I want to take it off.
We would eliminate the April 15th, but keep the April 22nd as the combined 15th and 22nd.
15th, that's tax.
I'm hesitant about this.
Yeah, I just know those meetings right then get like really long.
I mean, I'm willing to try it for a year, but
Okay, we're gonna
I'm a little
try it,
hesitant
Sandy.
about the.
Bring these back for further, for a vote next
I'm
meeting,
hesitant.
but,
Well, wait, that many people are hesitant.
Right.
That we're going to not have to do by combining, we don't have to.
Yeah.
So maybe we can eliminate some things on the regular agenda.
Right, like 4%.
Okay, yeah, I'll keep my mouth shut, okay.
and Ron can have less than 83 questions.
I had less than 83 one year.
All right. In the interest of trying to get us out, I was hoping for 8 o'clock,
the-
but at this
uh,
point, we're,
Okay.
Indicates the reorganizational meeting.
yeah. We will come back and vote on this next month with the revised calendar that says 2026.
Yes.
All the other changes. Okay. Item 6.6, our CSBA July 2024 policy updates. Did anyone need to pull any of these out for discussion?
Absolutely not.
Okay, I actually would like to move that we consider this a first and final read on this set of policies. If anyone, anyone has any objections to that.
I do not, and I'd like to second.
All right. Any questions or further discussion? All right, Nora,
Aye.
Denise,
Aye.
Ron. Aye. And I am I as well. Woo-hoo! Another set done.
I know we're getting.
That was a
closer.
riveting 364 pages.
I mean, what's hard about this is the 2024 changes that we
I know.
need to
just
catch back up.
Yes.
We're getting there.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve our consent items?
So moved.
Good.
And I get a second? Any further questions or discussion? All right, Nora? Denise?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Aaron? Aye. I am I as well. And I'm gonna call us closed at 7:51.
Except for the added time you'll have on that.
Right.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's your done.
That's all.
Very suspicious.
Yeah. Suspicious.
Woo! Martino's me a Snickers bar, I think.
Martine saved us yesterday, so I am.
He saves us all the time. How did he save you?
Oh, we had some very nice parents show up to the board chat, but they didn't speak any English.
Well,
So we like
okay.
grabbed them out.